Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV's news cycle. Live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, I am Judith Peters. Now on the news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, on Monday in Abu Dhabi have finalized a historic agreement, resulting in the immediate end of the visa ban placed on Nigeria travelers. By the agreement, both Etihad Airlines and Emirates Airlines are to immediately resume flights scheduled into and out of Nigeria without any further delay. Based on the agreement between the two heads of states, the immediate restoration of flight activity through the two airlines and between both countries does not involve any immediate payment by the Nigerian government. In recognition of President Tinubu's economic development diplomacy drive and proposal today presented by President Tinubu to his counterpart, an agreed framework has been established which will involve several billions of US dollars worth of new investment into the Nigerian economy across multiple sectors, including defense, agriculture, and others, by the investment arms of the government of the United Arab Emirates. Also, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has reinstated a commitment of President Tinubu to prioritize the welfare of Nigerians in its programs and policies. The Vice President stated this on Monday at the flag-off ceremony for the distribution of palliatives worth 5.1 billion naira by the Sokoto state government, adding that the President is committed to elevating the poverty among the vulnerable Nigerians. Uyi Agbomufoegbe has the rest of the story.
According to the Vice President, Tinubu's administration is committed to promoting the welfare of citizens, noting that the distribution of palliatives by the Sokoto state government is a laudable initiative by the governor, which is worthy to be emulated by other state governments.
It gives me a great deal of pleasure and privilege to be here with you on behalf of my principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to pluck up the people-friendly initiatives of Governor Ahmed Aliu Sokoto and his team. There can never be development without peace, and in the same vein, there can never be peace without development. So the investments by His Excellency on providing support to the security establishment is a welcome development. It will assist our security agencies to perform their duties optimally and boost their morale.
Earlier in his remarks, Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliu said the distribution of palliatives is to address the plight of the people, especially the poor. He added that his administration has decided to assist the security agencies in tackling security challenges in the state. He also noted that 5.1 billion naira was spent on the procurement of grains for distribution free of charge to the people, irrespective of their religion or party affiliation. The event also featured unveiling of a transportation scheme by the state government comprising provision of 20 Toyota Camry cars exclusively for use by women, as well as 50 mass transit buses for intercity transportation service at affordable rates. Uyi Agbomufoegbe, reporting for Global Television News.
Still, the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, has said despite efforts by government across different levels, Nigeria's housing deficits remain huge as 21 trillion naira will be required to effectively bridge the gap. Shettima stated this in Sokoto at the groundbreaking for the construction of the 500 housing estate by the state government, commending Governor Ahmed Aliu for attempting to address the housing needs of the people. The Vice President noted that Nigeria has a deficit of 28 million houses and will need 21 trillion naira to meet Nigerians' housing needs. Also, the Imo State National and State House of Assembly Election Petition Tribunal has sacked a member of the House of Representatives, Ikenga Ugochinyere, who was elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in a unanimous decision on Sunday. A three-member panel of the tribunal, which conducted its proceedings in Nasarawa State, held that Ugochinyere was not validly nominated by the PDP to contest the Idiato North-South federal constituency election that held on February 25th. Consequently, it ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to within 90 days and conduct a supplementary election in the constituency. The tribunal, in its lead judgment that was delivered by Chairman Justice Anthony Oluto Akwovi, specifically directed the electoral body to conduct the supplementary poll in 55 polling units where elections did not hold on February 25th. Also, Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Solomon Arazid, retired Inspector General of Police, has called for assistance in the area of training and capacity building for staff of the Commission and the Nigeria Police Force. In a statement signed by the heads of press and public relations of the PSC, Ikechukwu Ani, Arazid spoke in Abuja when he received an audience visiting Deputy Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of State. Tobin Bradley, Deputy Assistant Secretary Bradley, was at the Police Service Commission with Mark Hull, African Program Officer, Office of African and Middle East Programs of the U.S. Department of State, to discuss areas of assistance and partnership with the Commission, especially in capacity building, as they invited as visitors to also assist the Commission in strengthening its recently established Compliance Monitoring Unit, a department dedicated to monitoring the effectiveness and efficiency of the Police Compliance Response Unit. He noted that the Commission's Compliance Monitoring Unit needs support in various areas, including training and provision of equipment. The former IGP stated that staff of the Commission also need training exposure in the United States in form of exchange programs. And now a video has surfaced indicating that Niger Republic plotters have started deploying military along its border with neighboring country, Benin, amidst fear of military intervention by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The development was closed by a counter-insurgency expert and security analyst in Lake Chad, Zakazoler Makama. Global TV had also reported that ECOWAS had threatened a possible military action against Njanta, who seized power in Niger and suspended the constitution. However, signs of discontent within the Nigerian Armed Forces and mountain soldiers, both non-commissioned officers and officers, do not feel supported or protected by the Njanta's general. Non-commissioned soldiers are reported to be particularly more concerned with protecting their financial interests and their already shaky footing in power than with defending the interests of their subordinates. No longer listening to their men, the junta seems increasingly isolated, while popular anger rubbles. A fatal boat accident has claimed 26 lives in Marko local government area of Niger State. The authorities, however, confirmed that 30 people were rescued. Giving an update on the Adamawa incident yesterday, Dr. Suleiman Mohammed of the State Emergency Management Agency, who confirmed the figure, noted that 10 more persons were rescued, while 10 corpses were recovered from the canoe that capsized in the state at the weekend. In the Niger disaster, those who were involved in the accident were mostly rice farmers from 4 communities in Bajibo, heading to their farms in Old Bajibo around Jeba Dam. Commenting on the Adamawa mishap, Mohammed said the rescue operations was jointly carried out by the agency officials, Red Cross, Marine Police and local drivers. He said one of the survivors was struck by the nail of the canoe before she was rescued. Ceylon, the Zersu gunmen suspected to be bandits have attacked Kulbin community in Mago local government area of Plateau State and killed 10 persons. A resident of Kulbin village, Moses Fan, on Monday confirmed the attack. Fan said the incident, which happened on Sunday night, also left several houses belonging to villagers destroyed by the bandits before they fled the community. The chairman of Mwangwa Development Association in Kombo District, Dr. Elisha, who also confirmed the attack, said from the information he got, 10 persons were killed during the invasion. Also, Nigeria's first foremost indigenous chartered accountant Akintola Williams is dead. A leading authority in the field of accounting, Williams died at the age of 104, revealed as the first Nigerian to qualify as a chartered accountant. Williams contributed in founding the Nigeria Stock Exchange and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. You're watching Global TV's news cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. We'll be back with more stories for you after this short break. Please do not go nowhere. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's the Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Now on the foreign scene, Moroccan rescuers supported by newly arrived foreign teams on Monday faced an intensifying race against time to dig out any survivors from the rubble of mountain villages. On the third day after the country's strongest ever earthquake, the 6.8 magnitude quake struck the Atlas Mountains late Friday southwest of the tourist center of Marrakesh. It killed almost 2,500 people and injured a similar number, according to the latest official toll in the disaster-stricken community of Talat Yaqub. 12 ambulances and several dozens times full from the army and police were deployed, while around 100 Moroccan rescuers were searching for signs of life amid the collapsed building about 70 kilometers north. Another Spanish team from the Military Emergencies Unit, UME, had set up camp since Sunday night on the edge of Amismis village. Still, at least 150 people have died after a powerful storm caused severe flooding in eastern Libya. Storm Daniel made landfall in the North African nation over the weekend, prompting authorities to declare a state of extreme emergency last week. It killed a dozen people in Europe. 7 Libya army personnel have gone missing during ongoing rescue effort. Officials in eastern Libya have imposed a curfew, while schools and shops have been ordered to close. Storm Daniel has affected the eastern cities of Benghazi and Sousse, as well as Dana and Al-Marj. The western city of Masrata were also among those hit by the floods. The Prime Minister of Rival International recognized government in the capital Tripoli, Abdulhamid Dabi, said on Sunday he has directed all state agencies to immediately deal with the damage and floods, while the United Nations in Libya said it was following the storm closely and would provide urgent relief assistance and support of response effort at local and national levels. Still on the foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden has reaffirmed its commitment to the long-standing relationship between the country and Nigeria. This was contained in a statement released by the White House following Biden's encounter with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the G20 summit in New Delhi, India on Sunday, stating that President Biden welcomed Tinubu administration steps to reform Nigeria's economy. The U.S. president also seized the opportunity to thank President Tinubu for his strong leadership as the chair of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to defend and preserve democracy and the rule of law in Niger and the border region. Biden noted that Nigeria's invitation to the G20 summit is in recognition of the country's important global role as Africa's largest democracy and economy. Still, the U.S. President Joe Biden is said Sunday he does not want to contain China as the two powers face deepening division on trade, security and rights. Biden said he had met Chinese Prime Lincoln at the G20 summit in New Delhi, a meeting the White House had not announced, and discussed stability. The president revealed the encounter at Hanoi, where earlier in the day he agreed a deal to deepen ties with Vietnam as Washington looks to bolster its network of allies around Asia and the Pacific in the face of Beijing's rising influence. Washington and Beijing are at long-headed on a range of global issues, and Biden accused China of seeking to bend the international order to its will. Chinese President Xi Jinping skipped the G20 as Beijing and Delhi tussle over territorial and other issues. The Vice President Kashim Shettima has reassured that the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will fulfill all its promises made to Nigerians. Shettima also said the federal government had obtained a $163 million loan from the African Development Bank to support wheat production. Shettima said this on Sunday in Agugu, Kebbi State, while on a condolence visit to the family of late Abubakar Jiro A. Sheikh. Speaking at the pillar of the Emir of Agugu, Sumaila Mohammed, the Vice President, reaffirmed the determination of the Tinubu administration to fulfill its promises, particularly in the agriculture sector, adding that food security would receive serious attention from government. Selling business, Nigeria Air Force has disclosed plans to acquire 2 aircraft to combat crude oil theft in the country. The Director of Operations, Nigeria Air Force AVM, Abdul Ganiyu, disclosed this when he briefed the House of Representatives ADHOC Committee investigating oil theft and revenue laws by the federal government. AVM Ganiyu told lawmakers that the training of pilots to operate the available aircraft and other being expected shortly was in progress and would be ready for deployment before the end of September. It called on relevant agencies with the required technology to locate illegal bunkering sites, not to waste time in getting search locations across to Nigeria Air Force, with an assurance that precision action will be taken from the force bases to wipe out such sites and their illegal activities. Still, the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, in its second quarter of the 2023 Federation Account Statutory Revenue Allocation Report released in Abuja on Sunday, says the 36 states of the Federation received about 1.51 trillion naira, or 34.5% of the total 4.737 trillion naira shared by the 3 tiers of the government between January and June 2023. The report showed the states received about 817.79 billion naira from the 2.32 trillion naira total distributable allocation in the first quarter, and the 688.2 billion naira of the 2.04 trillion naira allocation in the second quarter. It stated that a 12% decline in the overall allocation in the second quarter resulted in a 15.8% reduction in the share to the state in the first quarter, from 817.8 billion naira to 688.2 billion naira. Despite the decline in the overall allocation, the reports noted that the share of the state allocation exceeded that of the federal government when the 13% derivation revenue was added. Apart from the share of the statutory allocation, the report said the 9 oil-producing states, namely Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, Imo, Ondo, and Rivers, receive additional allocation as their share of the 13% derivation revenue to bring their total receipt to about 869.09 billion naira. And now in sports, Super Eagles of Nigeria wrapped up the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier with a comfortable 6-0 victory against the Patriots of Sao Tome and Principe at the Nest of Champions, Uyo Akwa Ibom State on Sunday. A hat-trick from Napoli striker Victor Osimhen and a goal each from Ademola Lookman, Taiwo Awoniyi, and substitute Samuel Chukwueze ensured the team finished top of Group A ahead of Guinea-Bissau, with the team already qualified for the AFCON next year in Ivory Coast. They needed just a point to clinch the group top spot. They, however, went a step forward, picking the maximum 3 points and also scoring a combined 16 goals in 2 legs against their opponent. Still in sports, Spanish Football Federation President Luis Rubiales has resigned following fierce criticism for kissing Jenny Hermoso on the lips at the Women's World Cup victory ceremony. In an open letter published by Rubiales on Sunday night, he said he had informed the Federation he was also stepping down as a vice president of European football governing body UEFA. The already suspended Rubiales sent his resignation to the Federation interim president, he said in an open letter, and also explained his decision to eventually step down in a television interview. Rubiales, who insists the case was consensual, said he did not want Spanish football to be hurt by such a disproportionate campaign against him. Rubiales said his departure would contribute stability to the 2030 Men's World Cup bid in which Spain are involved. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using at Global TV and G and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much.